adding tasks has never been easier. Instead of hiring an assistant, all you need is a smartphone, WhatsApp and some automation set up in the backend. So in this video I will show you how you can set up your own AI agent that can handle any task at any time, just like a real assistant, but available 24/7. So before we dive deeper into the technical side, let me show you exactly what this AI agent can do. So on WhatsApp, I have a contact called Personal Assistant. And just like chatting with a real assistant, I can ask it to complete tasks for me in seconds. For example, I can simply say, please send an invoice to John Jones for consulting services worth 300 euros. A few seconds later, I receive a confirmation that the invoice has been sent. And this is what the email looks like. But what's unique about AI agents is that they can handle multiple tasks simultaneously. So I can ask the agent something completely different. For example, please schedule a meeting for tomorrow at 1 p.m. with Olivia Walker. A few moments later, I receive the confirmation and the meeting is also added directly to my calendar. So now let's dive deeper into the technical side of things. And we are building this inside N8N. And the workflow looks like this. So we on the one hand need N8N, and then we're also going to need WhatsApp, which we can access through our Facebook account and Facebook Business Manager. And then of course we need access and APIs to the tools we want to connect. For example, if you want to connect Google Calendar and Gmail, it's pretty easy done here in N8N. But if you want to connect something different like Stripe or Google Contacts or other contacts, then we are going to call in Make API, Make webhook, because it's easier to do it in Make. And because I want it to be a no-code solution in this video, we are going to call webhook in Make at this point. And yeah, that's pretty much all you need, like N8N, WhatsApp, and your tools you want to access. And then we can start building. So when we start, we have this empty page where we want to build the workflow. And then we can add here our first step. In this case, it's WhatsApp Business Cloud, and we want the trigger to be on message. So I select this, and now I have to connect my WhatsApp account, and therefore I have to create a new credential. This is the one from the other workflow, so I will hit create, and now is the point where I need a client ID and a client secret. And in order to get this, we have to set up some things in the Facebook developer page. So in order to get the client ID and the client secret, we have to head over to developers.facebook.com and then to my apps. Now you can see the apps I created in the past, but now we want to create a new app. Maybe you haven't have any of these here, so we will hit create app. And now I have to access a name. For example, I call it Simon's Assistant. Then I have to get my contact email, hit next. Then I have to select the use case. In this case, I will hit other. And then it's the question if it's business or consumer. In this case, I will hit business. And then I can select the portfolio, my business portfolio. In this case, I will connect it to this business page, but it's optional, you don't have to do it. And then create app. And then the password is required, so enter this. So you have to enter your password here and then click submit. And now the app got created. I'm in the dashboard here. Here I can see the other apps, but I will stay in this one. So this is a dashboard. You can do pretty cool stuff with these apps, but now we want to focus on WhatsApp. So what we have to do is add product to our app, and in this case WhatsApp, and set up. And now we want to use the API, and we can use the quick start. So start using the API. This will redirect. So now we created the API setup. And here we have our business account ID, which we need later, and also the access token, which we need to generate later. But for now, we can leave this as it is and go to app settings and then on basic. And here we now got our app ID and app secret. And this we can copy now, click it and copy it here. So client ID and then the app secret. After copying the client ID and the client secret into these fields, I can click save. And now connection tested successfully. So I can close this and close this. So now we've got our first block, the WhatsApp trigger. We can even change the name, for example, wait for message. And now we want to test it. And in order to test it, we first have to authenticate the number. Therefore, we head back to the Facebook developer page and now to WhatsApp and the API setup and click generate access token. Then we have to continue and then hit save. And now we generated the access token and can here now select the test number, which every app will get. So you will get this test number. And then we have to select a message where the authentication code will be sent to. In my case, it's this message, but you can change this by clicking manage phone number list. And then this is the API call, and then we have to click send message. So after you clicked on send message, you should get a message and then the connection should be established. We can test this by going back to the N8N workflow and then click on this and click on test step. And now it's listening for the test event. So we open the WhatsApp app where we got the hello world message and send it to this number here, the American number +1 555 and so on. So I will send a message to it like, hey, are you? And here it comes. So this is what it looks like. I can change it to view it as a table, JSON or schema. So I can see it here now and different parameters. So the WhatsApp ID, so the number from me where I sent the message, and then also the message body, hey, how are you? And then I can close this and go on with the next module. So now we will add the second node and this will be split out. And this node simply splits out some kind of input. So we will choose like these messages and split it out and then test the step. And now we will get this split it out. So we will get the text, the number, the ID, the timestamp, and also the type. And this is really important because we want to filter in the next step the type of message so that we can either send a text message or a voice message or even send an image message or a video message, and then the workflow can, based on the type, can go a different path, because when it's an audio path, we have to transcribe it audio, and when it's a text type, then we can redirect it directly without processing. So what we need now is a switch node. So I will search for switch, and now we have to check what type of message this is. So we change this to Boolean is true because we want to change it, and then expression. And now we're going to do this expression. This is simply referring to the node before and then the variable type, and it's checking if it's equal audio and if it's really an audio file attached. So this is what we do here, and then rename output to audio message. And now we could do more types, for example, equals video and JSON.video, or image, JSON type equals image, and then Boolean JSON.image is true, to check different types and then have different paths for each media type. But we want to keep it simple in this video, so we won't do this. We only have audio, and then it's also the case that there's maybe text. So I will hit the property here and then fallback output, because if this doesn't true, then we have a fallput, XOR output, add an option, and then rename fallback output. And this is going to be a text message. So when it's not audio, then it's text in this case. And then we got these two paths. So on the one hand, audio message, and on the other hand, text message. So we will focus on audio message and click plus, and then look for the WhatsApp Business Cloud, and then look for download media, because we now want to download the MP3 file, the audio file, the voice message, so that we can process it and transcribe it. So we will here select media and download. And then on the media ID, we will select expression, and then I will paste this. So this will basically get the audio ID from the node before, as I explained earlier. So back to Canvas, and then let's test this step. So I will hit test workflow, and now I'm going to send the personal assistant on WhatsApp a message, a voice message. Hello, could you please schedule a call for tomorrow at 1 p.m. with Olivia Walker? And now we saw it's going through, and in the switch module, it decided for the audio message because the type was audio. And when it would be text, then it would fall back to this path and go this route. But we will go on here. So this was downloaded. I can see it here. I got the URL, the file size, the ID, and so on. So now we've got the URL, and now we want to make an HTTP request to download the media. So I will choose HTTP request and then get. And now we will need the URL, which we can find right here in the schema. And this is what the URL is. So I will include it here. And then we need to add authentication, because this is a URL from WhatsApp Business. And now we need predefined credentials, and select the credential type, in this case, WhatsApp. And as you see, I already set this up, but if you're doing this the first time, you have to click create a new credential, and then you need an access token and a business account ID. And these things are a little bit different to the things we copy pasted earlier, because we can find these things in the Facebook Business Manager. So in the Business Manager, you then have to create a new system user. So click on create, and by a system user role, it's easier to choose admin, because then there is less friction. I already done it, so I can see Max, and he's an admin. And now what we want to do is we want to assign the app from the Facebook developer page, which we created earlier, to connect here. So what we have to do is to click and then assign assets. And now I head over to apps, and now I can see my apps here, and we want to assign Simon's Assistant. I will check this in full control to make it easier. And now it's assigned, and now I can generate a token. So I will do this. I select the app, Simon's Assistant, next, then token experience, never. Then we have to select permissions, and what we need to do here is WhatsApp and do these both. And now I can click generate token, and when that's done, I will get the token that's created. I can copy this, head back to n8n, and then insert the access token. So, and then we also need the business account ID. There are multiple ways how we can get this, but I will get this to the URL. So I head back to the business manager, and then in the URL, after business ID equals, and this number, this is the business ID. So I will copy this, head back, and then paste it here. Now I click save, and the connection tested successfully. So I can close this. So now, after setup correctly, we can test the step, and then we will get this data. We can also change the view and see that we got the data. So now we can take this data and let it be transcribed by an AI. So in order to transcribe this, we hit plus, then open AI, click it, and then generate audio, transcribe a recording. So we click this, and then you have to select your OpenAI account. If it's not here, then you have to click create new credential. and then select audio, transcribe recording, and input data field is also correct, it's data. So far so good. We have made it until the transcription, so let's test it again. Hey, please schedule a meeting for tomorrow at 2 p.m. with Olivia Walker at 2 p.m. And now everything works fine. I can view this note, and here it got transcribed. Perfect. So to fast forward things here, I added this new field, edit fields, to transform the input we've got and the type and the message again, so that the agent can process it better. So now here comes the fun part, because now we are going to set up the AI agent. So we click here on plus and then AI agent, click this, and this is what it looks like. So we have this agent, we have the chat model, the memory, a tool, and we can define how it's going to be after this. But first of all, we have to set up this AI agent. So first of all, we have to choose define below, and then can paste this one. It's an expression, and this is simply just saying the user sent the following message, and then the message description and also the type, which we defined earlier. And then we also want to include the prompt, so we click on add option and then a system message. And now it's important to create a prompt that knows about the tools, know how to interact with the tools, and that brings all together. So in order to do this, I will make it a little bit bigger, also choose expression on this later, and then we'll paste it. And this is simply the prompt I designed for this use case. And it's going to the primary task, role, and how to retrieve calendar events, and how to send the invoices, how the tools should be used, then also like the Gmail tool. And this is really everything he needs to know. And then also I included the date. So this is because why we needed the expression, because when you say like, please schedule a meeting for tomorrow, then the AI knows what tomorrow is, because we include the date here in the prompt. So now we can choose the chat model, and now we can choose which one we want. For example, Anthropic, Azure, Google, Mistral, and OpenAI. I will choose OpenAI because my account is already connected. And now I can choose the model I want. Yeah, all models. I will choose GPT 3.5 Turbo, and then back to Canvas. And this is the first step. Now I will create a memory and just use the easiest one to keep it simple. This simply is like the memory, and what we have to do here is like define it below, and then we need a key. And because every conversation is different, we use the phone number from the person who's sending the message as the key. So I can go back here in the input list, go to wait for messages from, and then paste it here. So this will be the variable of the number where the message comes from. And then I can also create a context length of 15. And now it's done. So we have the chat model and the memory, and now we will add the tools. So first of all, we will select Google Calendar tool, and then we will have to connect our Google account here. It's pretty straightforward, so I will skip this. And then tool description, set automatically, event, no, and now I can choose here to get the event, because, well, let's rename it, get events, rename. And now we can select from the list, select, and now we can adjust limit, after, and before. These are all fixed values, but N8N has also this tool of the expression, and we are going to use this expression from AI limit, because what this means is that the AI will be asked, okay, what the limit is based on the message that was sent, so it will automatically decide what the limit is and then set that variable. So way more dynamic than just get the limit out of a message or a variable that you defined earlier. So I will set the limit the same way I do it here. I will change this to after, and then I will change this also to before. So next up is that we want to create an event. So I will search again for Google Calendar and then Google Calendar, set automatically event create. Also select the calendar where the event should be created. And then there's again these start times and the end times. And here we are going to do the same way like this. So we will say from AI, this is the start date. And then what we're also going to do here to explain the AI what the variable does. So the start time of the event in ISO format, and then it's a string. And then the same we are going to do for the end time. So I will copy paste this, and then it's important that you rename it to end time, and then it's not the start time, it's the end time, but it's also a string. So this is what we have to set up. So, but we want to add some fields. So for example, I would like to add the field attendees and paste this in. So change this to expression, and this really does the same thing. It tells attendees email addresses of attendees, comma separated as a string. And then we could also add the field like description of the calendar event. I copy this again and hit this to expression. And now what I want to do is like change this again to description. And for example, the agenda of the meeting, and it's also a string. So keep it simple to really set up this calendar, but you could add another field like the location, like color name or ID, and so on and so on. Like the potential is limitless on this. So next we have to set up the tool that looks for the contact details. For example, when I say, please schedule a meeting with Olivia Walker, then the AI agent has to search my contacts in order to get the email address. To keep things simple, I set up a workflow on Make, because when I want to add a tool, something like Google Contact isn't here natively. So what I have to do is to set up a workflow in Google Contacts. This could look like this, so webhook Google Contacts, which search the contacts, and then the webhook response. And then I have to add the tool here, and what I have to do then is a HTTP request tool. Then of course I have to copy this, and then it's a post request, and the description, I use this one. So use this tool to retrieve an email address based on a provided name. This tool will take a person's full name as input and return the associated email address. Then I also want to send body, and in this body I want to do the name and the value provided by model and is required. This simply means that the model, the AI agent, will automatically fill out this variable based on the information he has about the tool and so on. I would say change this to get contact info. And yeah, this simply is what you have to fill out, and then this tool will get the email address. To show you another example, for example, when you want to send an invoice automatically, I did the same thing and set up an automation in Make, because, for example, here in Make, I have like the Stripe modules predefined. In N8N, this isn't the case. So if you do this in N8N, you probably have to manually call the API. So I did this here because it's predefined, it's simpler, and then get a file and then send the email. And to add this, I have to do this the same. I added the contact, so add tool, HTTP request. And then I have to fill out this again. So it's a post request. I will change the description here. So it simply say use this tool to create and send invoice to a client, and then what the input is. And here again, I will send a body with, and then we'll choose client name. By model is required, so it automatically choose the variable that is needed. Then the client email, the amount and the description. And now I again need the webhook, so I go to make, to this model, copy address to clipboard, and then we'll paste it here. So very simple, very straightforward. As I said, it really depends on how your system is set up in the back end and what your structure looks like. But this will work for me, and now I have these tools and I can add some more. So for example, what's pretty straightforward also is like Gmail. It's simple to click. I made this in this workflow here. I included email and sending email. So the potential here is pretty limitless. But as you see, to complete this agent now, we have to get the output back to WhatsApp. So let's do this. I will click on plus and then search for WhatsApp. And now we need send message. So now I just filled out these fields again as an expression, and then got the value from the first node, which is called wait for message, and then get the phone number and also the body. And this is what you have to set up. And when I'm going back, this is what it looks like. So pretty simple, pretty clean. So you can set it up yourself. And now what's going to do is it will go through this and then will at the end send the message back to WhatsApp. So what do you think? What task would you delegate to your own AI assistant? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to know how AI can help your business grow and scale faster, feel free to book a call with me using the link in the description. And of course, if you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more content on AI and automation. See you in the next video.